What would your life be like if you had more control over your emotions, in particular, your reactions? So let's say something happens in life that triggers you and you get either really angry, really upset, very anxious, very frustrated, angry, or maybe you go sort of more in the opposite direction where you get very sad or feeling very shameful or unable to function. Afterwards, you feel like, why can't I just better manage myself and my emotions so that, I can see these things coming in advance and I can do whatever I need to do so that I won't feel that way? Because I'd rather feel happy, or I'd rather feel joyful, or I'd rather feel peace of mind, or I'd rather feel in control. Well, there is a way, and I'm offering a free webinar to teach what I'm calling emotional recipes for how you want to feel. So think of it this way. When you want to bake cookies, let's say, you need to have all the ingredients in order for the recipe to work. So you need to have a list of what you need, and then you need to have a method. You need to do things in a certain order, combining your wet and then your dry ingredients, and then you need this method for how do you combine the things and when, and then how long do you cook or bake the cookies to get the result that you want, which is a wonderfully, perfectly brown, delicious, not dried out, moist cookie. It's a fun metaphor, but imagine if you had the same sort of tools to create how you want to feel most of the time, but also to be mindfully aware and proactive to better see when you're going into the red line. So think of like a meter. You're in the safe zone, and then you're going into the yellow zone that's warning, ding, 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 pay attention. And if you go into the red zone, it's too late. Well, what if you can track and see when you go into that yellow zone, that danger zone, and you can pull yourself back? Practice makes for improvement. So my webinar is taking place on Thursday, July 8th, 2021 at noon Eastern Standard, Eastern Daylight Time. I'm going to follow up with some helpful exercises that you can do right now if you want to prepare for this webinar, but the link is below the video so that you can register right away. I want to give you 6 questions that'll help you identify your red line emotions, you're going into that red zone. This will be a way that you can think ahead and prepare for the webinar so that when we get into this live and interactive training with me, you will be a little bit more ahead of the game. You'll have already done some of the work to think about, well, what is the negative or destructive or harmful emotion that I would like to avoid, and how can I create these emotional recipes to do that? So 6 questions, and I'm just going to read them off my screen and explain them a little bit. So what is the single biggest struggle, challenge, or problem in your life that also causes you the greatest amount of emotional distress or stress? So I want to connect a problem that you're having, a challenge that you're having in your life, and the resulting emotional state that you want to avoid. Now, write that down. Now, I'm going to have those questions in the notes underneath the video, so you can just pay attention here. Think about this. How much more effective would you be at solving your problems, making progress on your goals or your progress, if you were in an optimal state of mind, even an optical state of physical being, which is a kind of good feeling? You would make more progress, it would be easier, and it would be more efficient. Okay. Second question. What are the top 1 to 3 most stressful emotions that are associated with that challenge or problem? So I want you to actually just identify by name, what are those emotions? Next question. Describe each one of those emotions in detail. So let's say it's anger. What does anger look like for you? How does it show up? How do you feel? How maybe does your face change? What maybe words are you saying? How are you acting and behaving? Fourth question, what strategies do you currently have on hand to manage, reduce, or control not going into experiencing those so-called negative emotions, those harmful or destructive emotions. What strategies do you have, if any? If you don't know of any strategies, right, I don't know. But if you do have other strategies that you use to pull yourself out of the yellow zone, the danger zone, before you get to the red zone, write those down now. Last two questions. What are the polar opposites of those stressful emotions or feelings? So if it's anger, that's one of your stressful, harmful emotions. What's the opposite of that in the sense of what would you rather feel instead of anger so that you can have more of that feeling in your life? And then the final question is, what would your life look like day to day if you regularly experienced more of these uplifting and empowering emotions? Just write a few sentences or a paragraph. That's kind of your intentionality for what you would like to get out of this webinar. So one more time, the webinar is on Thursday, July 8th at noon Eastern Standard. Please register even if you are not sure if you can attend live, because there will be a replay available for about 3 days after the webinar. That's it. I really hope to see you there and to help you through this process. Like I said, it's going to be live. It's going to be interactive. If you have questions, you're going to be able to get them addressed on the webinar. Hope to see you there.